Hi everybody, this is another GameMaker MemoryMaker video. I only titled the series after I made the first episode, and I titled it that because I wanted to add that little TF2 pun in, even though this series has nothing to do with TF2. This series is all about my old video games that I made in GameMaker Studio and uploaded to Gamejolt. And today we're going to be looking at Flap Flap Cyber Flight Supreme. Now, this game actually has multiple incarnations, 2 in fact, and this is the most recent one, but we're not going to play this one immediately. In fact, we're going to look at the original, otherwise known as Flap Flap Alpha 4, so let me load that up right now. Alright, so this is Alpha 4 of Flap Flap, and yeah, it does not look good at all. It's got this very primitive tile-based look in the main menu. There's no mouse control, you have to press the letters on your keyboard, so it's not really well optimized for play on the PC. We're gonna play through this entire thing, and I'll show you everything this has to offer. So the first mode is Classic. I'll press C right now. And how this works is that you have to collect 5 trinkets as well as get to the exit. And it actually counts the number of attempts that you have to complete this course, and it deducts score from your overall tally if you fail. So I'm gonna see if I can do this in one shot. It's pretty hard hearing myself over the loud noises of this game, but hopefully there won't be any issues. And this was basically just a shameless Flappy Bird clone, and I'm really ashamed that it had to come to such a thing, but this was a good exercise for me as a game developer to see if I could actually do something like this, and I was surprised that I could. I mean, certainly this is not polished at all, which is why it's an Alpha 4, but as a concept, it's pretty alright, and it has a couple of good modes that are pretty interesting. Alright, I've got all 5 trinkets now. I'm gonna see if I can get there, and wow, I've already gotten to the maximum score of 10,000, which is great, so that means I don't have to do that again. So if I press escape, it'll take me back to this menu, and multi is the other mode. It is basically just multiplayer, and there's multiple people that can play. This version supports up to 4 players. I will play as Space and Shift, and I'll just let the others die. Alright, so it starts off with some pipes. These aren't randomly generated, by the way. However, the further you get in, you get these X's, and these are randomly generated. You see, I lost one of my people there. I'm gonna see if I can get through this without losing anybody. The X's become very hard to dodge later on, and fairly soon it just becomes a chance of who dies first, which is kind of stupid. But anyway, that's how the game was designed, and I already killed player 2. That's all that multi has to offer. Alright, now we'll look at alternate. Alternate's special because not only do you have to play the normal game, and there's no trinkets, but you have to press shift when you want to boost, and you only get 5 shifts, so you need to make them count. I'm gonna see if I can get to the end. I haven't gotten to the end of this before. Okay. Well, thankfully, this mode doesn't penalize you for getting, it doesn't have a final score at the end. It doesn't penalize you for dying. So it's all about just getting to the end. Okay, this is a very obvious boost here. So is that. You have to look at the pipes and figure out exactly what height and how many pipes are required in order for you to need to use the boost. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish this. Oh, okay. There we go. That's that done. Alright. Oh, man. Okay. Well, looks like I'm not going to finish alternate. I got to 26. The ending of alternate isn't that different from classic, so we'll just let your imagination play for that. Endurance mode is basically every time you go through a pipe, every 2 pipes, your speed increases, and what I mean by speed is that the frame rate of the game actually increases. So it's not the speed of your character that's increasing, it's the frame rate of the game, which is, it's a really cheap workaround, but you can easily tell that that's happening. Every 10 pipes you get a chance to breathe. You don't get that in the in Cyberfight Supreme, but whatever. Now, the speed counter isn't proportional to the frame rate. It simply is just a silly numeric number that has nothing to do with the actual increase of the frame rate. I'm not entirely sure what the frame rate is right now, nor do I care to research it. I don't think I can now because they don't supply GameMaker Studio to people anymore. I just have to hope that I'll get... okay, 67, that's my best. I have gotten far better scores in this before, but I'm not willing to look into those right now. Okay, next mode is light up, and how this works is you've basically got to clear all these tiles in as much and as little time as possible. It is possible to light up multiple tiles with one jump, just depending on whether your cursor is touching them. So, ooh, right. I am gonna finish this. This is very easy to get a score on. There's no real challenge here, it's just about getting a score. Okay, 23 seconds, pretty good. And then after you complete that, you then can do the co-op mode, which is very similar, but it is very large, and I have to press both keys here. And there we go. Okay, 27 seconds playing by myself. And that is it for the Alpha 4. Of course, you can press the reset key. Whoops. Press the R button. Yep. And then press reset all data, and that will lock everything again. That is Alpha 4. And yeah, sure, it's not the greatest, but pretty much everything was improved in Cyberfight Supreme, and we'll switch to that now. This is classic mode, which is what you saw in the previous version. Alternate mode is also here, but you need to complete classic. Endurance and Endurance Duel are here. Endurance is actually improved from the previous one because there is no time to rest. You need to do everything in one go. And Endurance Duel, this is new. Never before has this been seen. Then you've got Light Up and Light Up Co-op as predicted. These are basically the same from the previous versions. And then you've got Free Fall. Free Fall is something completely original to this version. It's not that great, to be honest, but I'll show you that later. Right now I want to show you the options. So here you can see a perfect record of everything. As you can see, I already have a high score of 220 and 240. Actually, that might just be default scores. I'm not entirely sure, but I've also muted the menu music so that I can film this without interruptions. Sound is still on, animations are still on. There are skins. So if you press K, you can actually see in the top left corner all the different various things that your skin can become. Whatever. That is the basic gist of this, but we're just going to move on to classic. It's basically the same, except now you have checkpoints. And there's still the attempts thing, but the good thing is now that it's the frame rate's a lot higher, and the physics is slightly different, but it's still okay. I did not want that to happen, but whatever. Also, completing the game is a lot more flashy than before, a lot more interesting than you would predict it to be. Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can manage to get this in the one go after I complete this thing, because I know it's possible. I know it's possible to do this all in one go, because I did it so easily with Alpha 4. I'm at the 7th checkpoint now. This section's pretty easy. You just gotta get a rhythm for all this. Okay, that's 50 out of 50. And now all you gotta do is land in this checkpoint here, and there you go, ascended. I'm going to do classic again, see if I can get this in the one attempt. As you can see, my best is only 99. That's because it actually takes away the number of extra attempts that it takes you to from your score of 100. So if I was to get this on the first try, then I would have a score of exactly 100. And that's what I'm aiming to get right now. Alright, halfway there. Classic isn't randomized, so you can do this every single time. Oh, okay. I didn't manage it. I'm not gonna bother. again. Let's just move on to the next game mode, alternate, which is pretty much the same. No attempts, but this time, trinkets have actually moved to alternate now. I tried to be a little more edgy with what I did here. Oh, as you can see, the pipes actually increment your score by, what is it? It's 2. And what it... I think shift takes away 1 point, so you want to try and get through this without using shift. But the effect that plays when you use shift is pretty interesting. I like that touch. Now, I'm sure I would love to just grind this and try and get a perfect score, but it is an old game and I'm not really that interested in it. Oh, that's dumb. That's dumb. Alright, I'm not taking any chances now. I just want to get through this level. I probably lost a lot of score trying to do this. Whew. Alright, that's better. Ooh, I barely made through that. I just realized that I'm probably not even halfway. Missed that checkpoint. Okay. Well, the ascension is still the same in alternate, so... But the entire environment is supposed to look derelict. Unfortunately, I didn't have the expertise to make a dynamic environment, so I just didn't bother with it. Anyway, endurance. So, endurance... The numbers that it uses to predict, to show you the speed, they increase every pipe. However, it really doesn't reflect, like, I think it's even worse. I think this version of endurance is even worse than the Alpha 4 because it's so slow and it takes ages to, because, you know, with the increased frame rate, it also means that it takes a lot longer for the diamond to reach its optimal speed. As you can see, I've already gotten a best score of 220. That was basically me testing this game before I started recording it. Oof. Okay, I died at like, I'd say 59. I'm not gonna look into that. Endurance Duel is pretty much the same thing. I worked it out so that when someone dies, it actually... there's like half a second before it judges who's the winner, because there's a chance that it got something wrong. If both players die, then it's no contest. Okay, light up. Now I'll show you the new version of light up. I actually dislike this version because you can only touch one light at a time, and it's always the one that you're closest to. I guess it makes it a little more fair, but it's just not as entertaining as the previous one was. I guess this is a lesson in you don't need to improve what wasn't broken. Okay, now I'm gonna finish this one. I'm gonna see if I can get my high score. My high score previously. I don't think I'm gonna beat it. I'm doing pretty poorly as of now. I'm not gonna get my best score. Oh wait, maybe I am. Maybe I am. It is possible. Yep, okay, I did beat my score. That was 47 seconds and 16 milliseconds. And then you've got co-op mode. Basically the same. In this version, the number of lights doesn't increase. However, it is, it's still just as boring as, normal light up. So I won't even bother to complete that. And now we've got Freefall. This is intended to be a 2-player game. Unfortunately, I can't concentrate in this with 2 players, so I'm only going to do 1 player. How this works is that random obstacles are generated and you have to get to the bottom without touching these obstacles. The inspiration for this game mode was a DSiWare game called Paper Plane, which is in itself taken from WarioWare. One of the things you have to do in this is just kind of hope that you get a good number of blocks, because some layouts can be really annoying to deal with. Okay, another one of these. Also, the timer doesn't stop when you die. You're on the same plane. You basically just have to get really lucky, I guess. Okay. Another thing you could do is you could just kind of cheat by pressing escape. That can help when you want when you want to be really lucky. You can just do that. And as you can see, it's paying off for me because I've already lost like half the time there. But yeah, that is Flap Flap Cyber Flight Supreme, the second game in my GameMaker MemoryMaker series. Now, I'm probably only going to make one more GameMaker MemoryMaker, and if I do, I will make it very obvious in that episode that it is the very final one, because obviously there aren't that many more games for me to cover. If you enjoy these, or if you want to talk specifically about how this was made, I probably can remember a couple of things. You can comment below and tell me stuff. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that is yet to be covered and that I would like to cover. So, see you guys. Make sure that you're subscribed, because YouTube doesn't want you to be.